As the clock strikes 7, the vibes alive. Inner circles here where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come one, come all, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. Inner Circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. So join the conversation, let's set the tone.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Inner Circle podcast. Today is Tuesday, November 4th. It's election day. Even though it's off-year election, there are local races taking place in New Jersey, in Virginia. I don't know, Peterson from the Windy City. I don't know if you have any local election going on in your area, but today is election day. And tonight, obviously, our topic is the power of your cycle. Who you have around you matters. So it's going to be discussion tonight. So my man Peterson, man, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Abe. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. This is Peterson from the great city of Chicago. Well, outside of the city. I would have cleaned the city at certain times. So, but from here in Illinois, in terms of election day, I didn't hear much about anything happening here in the Chicago area. One of the long-time politicians in Illinois here, he said he's not going to seek another term. So he's kind of paving the way for his, I guess, one of his aides to get into that spot, Chuy Garcia. And the person that is petitioning to get in there has the same last name, but they're not related. But yeah.
Okay.
On New York and other places tonight, but yeah, nothing's happening here.
Yes, definitely. And folks, their pools are still open in other areas, right? Like Minneapolis here. There's our largest city in Minnesota here, Minneapolis. There's a mayoral election going on. It's very competitive. Omar Fateh and the incumbent is Jacob Frey. Omar Fateh is an immigrant his parents are immigrants from Somalia, but he was born here. So it's a very competitive race. So it's like the pools are still open. Basically, pools in Minneapolis are closed at 8 o'clock. We are on Central Time. I mean, just as you guys in Illinois. So the pools are still open. Folks, go and vote. These are important local elections, right? We have said many times on this platform on the Inner Circle podcast. The city mayors, the city council, those are the ones that say your taxes, your local taxes, your property taxes. And property tax, whether you're a renter or you're a homeowner, it affects you, right? Because when they set those rates or those percentages, man, it'd be ridiculous, and then even for your water, every local thing, every local bills you pay, city council or the city mayor is very, very important. And then as Peterson said, the one in New York too has been getting a lot of press because Zoran Madani, he's an immigrant. To me, I don't take this. Obviously here we are here to amplify, empower, and elevate immigrant voices, right? So, 34-year-old dude, to me, I mean, despite his politics, whether you agree with his politics or policies, to see a young man, who's an immigrant came to this country at the age of 8, to be at that level is a testament, I think, first of all, to the greatness of this country. Anybody can achieve anything in America. I've always believed that, right? It's the promise of America. And also, he's an immigrant, and he's a what? African immigrant, from Uganda. His parents actually, even though originally his parents was from India, but they said in Uganda, and that's where he was born and raised. And so he actually claimed Uganda as his home. Recently he was living in Uganda, and so obviously he's running against Andrew Cuomo or heavyweight and things like that. But that's a election that have been getting a lot of press. So Peterson, you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's been getting a lot of press, and like you said, whether you agree with his politics or his policies or not, it is a testament, and it kind of just falls right to our topic tonight about who you surround yourself with and things like that, your cycle. So
yeah,
it, I'm sure is people around him that encouraged him and that got him to where he is tonight, whether he wins or loses, but that is still a great testimony.
definitely, definitely. And also, folk, there's an election going on. So if you live in the New Jersey area, there's a governor election. The Virginia election, I think the results have already been called, but then, for the governorship. But there also, there's an election going on in California. There's a election going on there. So we say these things, right? Go and vote. These elections are very, very important. It's an off year, but these are, if you live in these states, you have your citizenship. So one of the beauty of being citizen in America is actually is most of us just celebrate the blue book or the green book or whatever, right? But I think it's beyond that, right? You have to, to me, it's voting is the most important civic duty, because everything these politicians do, it affects you. That right now we are in a government shutdown. Who are causing the government shutdown? Politicians, because of their
Yep.
agreement or disagreement. So these elections are very, very important. Yeah. So with that, man, Peterson, tonight, as I said, right, we explore the power of your cycle, the people who shape your dreams, energy, and direction. Success kind of a required community, as you said, right? And then accountability and purpose, driven by relationships, kind of alluded to Zora Madani. Obviously, even Barack Obama, if you look back to Barack Obama, right? And one thing about this country, right? Sometimes like the Harvards, the Yales, these guys keep close now. Even universities in America, where they have that
Hmm.
list. So
I'm aware of, yep.
yeah, you know what I mean and stuff. So the power of your cycle, I think, if you don't learn anything in America, the power of your cycle is very, very important in this country. That's one thing I've learned.
Yeah, and growing up and coming to this country at a young age, we didn't learn or get to hear about like what you know. Yes, what you know really matters, but who you know matters even more.
Yeah,
So, growing up here, there are people that sometimes somebody would get into certain position, whether it be in career, industry, or even education or something like that. And sometimes we wonder, like, wait, how did this person get to that place so fast? And like we said, most times it's because of who they know or who their parents know, who their friends know. Like, is good to have that type of society where yes, you surround yourself with light-hearted or like-minded people, and most times, like a lot of the things that we use nowadays, it was started by one or two guys who they were always together. They
yeah.
like think alike and things like
Hmm.
that. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
important.
Yeah. So, folks, man, tonight, I mean, obviously, there's a great conversation. Tell us about the power of your cycle, who you have in your cycle, who you have surrounded yourself with, right? Because it actually matters. And you can contribute to the conversation tonight by putting a comment in the chat or calling with number 952-594-5154. And just to remind you, man, there's a growing community. Follow us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, X, Apple Podcast, Spotify, so everywhere. But actually, Peterson, right, you raised a very, very good point. We come here as immigrants, right? What we, especially African immigrants, one thing we learn is what you know, right? Education, education. But when we look at it, though, even on the continent where there's so many educated people, I don't think education is a problem. Even here, right, among the African immigrant community, or even like, Africans, what I mean, or immigrants that are here, right, they are educated. But sometimes you can have all of the education, man. You'll be working a dead end job because you don't have the right connections. You don't have someone who holds your hand to say, "Hey, man, I have this thing here," or I know this person. This person can connect you here. Even in business, right? In this country, right? It's like it's like your network can actually, sometimes say, hey man, I know this business idea. I think you should jump into it. But for most of us from the continent, all we hear is about what education, education. And one thing, and when you come here, like the Zuckerbergs or these guys or even Bill Gates, right? Like they are college dropouts. Not that you know what I mean, and stuff like that, but because of their connections.
Yeah. So you use two great words in there: connection and networking.
Hmm.
Like you said, growing up here, when we came in the like late '90s or well, whenever we got here, that wasn't such a thing like to make a big deal out of. Like, oh, okay, you have to find connection, you have to network. But as time went by, that became the thing. Who are you connected to? Who are you networking with? And now people, they have just like networking events where they will post something together for people either in the same industry, if it's tech or if it's science, chemical, whatever it is. They have people from different sectors come together just for that connection, like you said, because now you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or sometime down the line. You might need a line to call somebody like, "Hey, I need help with this," and that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people that would influence you in a positive direction. Because I mean, we talk about connecting and networking, it goes both ways. If you networked with the wrong crowd, they're going to network you into something that you don't want to get into. Whereas if you connect with people that will have a positive impact on your life, it can like catapult you to places that you don't even know.
And you brought a great point. I think in our community, right? I think most of the time our cycle choose us. We don't choose our cycle, right? Because and that's how come we get ourselves in a cycle that is, the negative energy, and so now we settle. We settle for it, right? I think that's where I mean, not to sound bad here, but I think that's one of the biggest disadvantages of black people we have, right? Because sometimes we find ourselves in certain cycles, it's negative energy is negative, but because that cycle choose us, we become comfortable, become complacent. We
Mhm.
don't look outside that cycle, and most of the time that's where we get stuck. Because if you're not making progress, then we blame the system, right? There's a, oh yeah, the system is not doing us justice, right? Because I'm stuck, I cannot find my way, of nobody to kind of give enough positive vibe or that positive energy. I'm just stuck, right? Because there's no one, like if I come talk to the person, maybe like in our late man like burn thing, maybe all the thing you're talking about female business or chamo business or stuff like that, right? There's nothing that conversation about too. Let's think about how can we maybe a year from now, how can we maybe like hustle and put a partnership together? How can we maybe, you know, get some business ideas together, right? Or, it's like we just settle for our cycle, right? And as you and myself have been discussing here, I think to me, I truly believe, right? That's what sometimes get us stuck, that we don't really, explore. We don't get out of our comfort zone.
Yeah. So, like you rightly said, we we are so complacent and we like to settle. So if we are in an environment that is like all negative, people are like negative vibes and things like that, we don't have that courage to be like, okay, I'm going to get it. Because this is one of the choices that God gave us. You choose who you want to be friends with. You choose who your partner will be. You choose like where you want to live. You choose this. The only thing you can't choose who's going to born you. That's like
Exactly. Yeah.
that's the only thing that you don't have the power over. But we tend to just, I guess, gravitate towards people that I don't know if somebody is feeling. We have this inferiority complex thing that goes on. If somebody is I want to say higher than us at a higher level, we feel like, I can't compete with that person. So we go to somebody else that we think we are better than so that we
Yes.
can be able. It's all about control because we want to be able to like control the situation or control that person, control have more power in the relationship, whatever relationship that is, and things like that. But like I said, you have a choice to choose who would be around you.
That, I mean, that's a powerful gem you just dropped down there, right? It's about control. And that's the kind of a mentality that we develop when you're back home, right? Because obviously, right, it's not about, hey, it's what you know. And once you go up there, everybody else below and then beneath you and stuff like that, you control them. Is that controlling? So it's like, you don't want to, is someone at your level or above you, right? You don't, you feel like, gosh, you know what I'm, it becomes competition.
Yep.
Right, it becomes sometimes instead of you saying this person, right? Maybe I should learn from him. He knows something I don't know, and he
Mhm.
can learn something from me that I know something he might not know. So let's have that collaboration. Let's have that cooperation, right? Let's share notes or let's compare notes. It don't often does not happen in our communities, especially as I said, right? I like to focus this conversation on African immigrants because I believe like, we for us, what I mean, we need to build generational wealth, we need to change our mentality. But you certainly don't find that in our various communities, right? Once someone's above me or doing well from or is doing better than me, my next instinct is to compete with that person.
Yep.
That's what I want to do. I just want to compete with that person instead of me saying, gosh, what is he doing that I can
Mhm.
learn from him, right? I might not want to maybe follow his career path or whatever he's
Right.
doing or the business is in, but he might share one or two notes with me that, I can do again. It can probably like, spark something in my head or,
Mhm.
and things like that, right? And to take a different route. But we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that. And like you said, it doesn't matter what business you're in, or like if it's career, if it's like anything you are into, there will be like some key foundational principles that will make somebody succeed in whatever endeavor it is that they're pursuing. But for our community, the immigrant community, especially those of African descent, we tend to, because the teacher say, oh, knowledge is power, knowledge is power. But once we get that knowledge, we want to now become king and rule over everybody else. Because if I know something that makes me to succeed, if it's like investing or something, and then somebody comes to me like, oh, what did you how did you do it? I mean, it doesn't mean if I tell the person like step by step, oh, I invested in this and this and this, the person is going to go the same route. Because as the ad for everything says, the result varies, and it depends on how much work you put in and things like that. But we tend to hold on so tight to information when it comes to like sharing things. So this is why I'm a big proponent of like mentorship. But we don't
Yeah.
have that in our community. This is one
Yeah.
thing that we lack. If you go into other communities, there will, like, people who are even in leadership roles, they will be talking about, oh, this is my mentor, like my mentor this person mentors me. But we have this ego, like when I reach certain level, I don't want to like go buying down to anybody to show me anything else, or even if I'm not at that level yet, to bring myself to that point where I can say, okay, I can learn something from this person. We're not willing to do that, and the person with the information is not willing to give it just like that. But most times, we don't take that first step to even approach.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you another great gem that mentorship is completely lacking from our community, African immigrant community. Mentorship is something we don't take because I mean, come to think of it, right, we most of us inherit our cycle. Right? It's like, once you maybe they come from Liberia, you fall in broken back, you say, "Dad, dude, companies that you fall out there, you basically inherit your cycle, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes by some by that or maybe sometimes by proximity, by job, your neighborhood, your family, your church. So most of us inherit our cycle, and we don't have the courage, right, to say, you know what? Yes, I am here, but I just want to do something different. That doesn't mean that I don't love my people, but I want to expand my network where I can be able to learn something new, some new ideas, maybe like venture into a business, open windows of opportunity, doors of opportunity, right? Is like as long as we inherit our cycle, again, we become comfortable, become complacent. We don't want to do anything else. And to your point, where mentorship is so lacking in our community, we don't even do enough, right? And that's what I'm seeing, man. Look, like I've been in a corporate world now for a minute. You hardly there's like at the upper echelon, you hardly find black people there.
Mhm.
You hardly find people like us. And I think the reason why that is, right? I don't think it's because of lack of education. I think black people are educated. I
Of
think the
course.
reason is like, I think to me, the biggest reason for that is mentorship. The Caucasian folks may mentor one another. Whether that fool knows something or he
Yep.
doesn't know, right? As soon as he maybe get another opportunity, he's going to know how he's do. They
Yep.
don't have to know each other, but they don't have to be that even that close, right? But
Yep.
because maybe they have worked together, there has been some relationship there, they're going to take advantage of that opportunity. We don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that. And we spoke about this a while ago on another segment here where we say if I'm in a job at a company and there's availability for somebody to come in, it's like, oh, there's opening. And many times the companies, although HR is out there looking, but sometimes they will tell employees like, oh, if you know somebody
Yeah, yeah,
like you think is qualified to come in this position, you can refer them. It doesn't mean they're going to hire them because you refer them, but at least you're going to introduce a person, and it makes a big difference if you have that belief in somebody to say, oh, okay, I believe that this person is capable of doing this
yep,
job, and
yep.
you recommend that person, even if they don't get the position. At least you took that step. But we don't do that in our community. If I'm working ABC Incorporated, and then I have a friend or brother, even if it's somebody that I don't know personally, but as long as the person is an immigrant, to like give them that, hold their hands and try to bring them along. We don't do that. We just like, hey, I don't want this person to come over to this company because uh, what you are saying, like Caucasians, sometimes it's like people that it's not like they are friends or they are acquaintances, but they cross paths somewhere and they just from that connection and that networking, like, hey, I know John, I know Paul, he can do this job. And John or Paul will come, even if he doesn't know everything to the T, at least he is bold enough to come and something. And but they don't say, "Oh man, if I bring John, John's gonna like take money from my pockets." No, you're not. This is not competition. Like we always make it out to be. Everything in our immigrant community is based off of competition. We compete for everything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing the power of your cycle. Who you have around you matters. Obviously, like if you see the Ivy League, the Harvard, all those that graduate from Harvard, they are either CEOs or presidents, CFOs and stuff. The power of that network, right? Who you have around you matters. From Harvard, from Yale, from Stanford. Now Stanford is producing all of the, the tech entrepreneurs, right? Because like, help one another. So tonight, that's what we're discussing, folks. The power of the cycle. Who you have around you matters. Contribute to the conversation. Put a chat in the comment. Put a comment in the chat or call our number 952-594-5154. You know what I mean? Peter's in this one though, right? Like comfort friends versus purpose friends. And there's something like, like the likes of Elon Musk, I mean, the guys like I think a group of guys that established PayPal,
Mhm.
right? It's about they had a purpose, right? It was about purpose, right? Most of us again back to our community, right? What we have is comfort friends,
Mhm.
people, someone like maybe like do it myself. we have one or two, it's like we can joke, we can laugh, we can have beer and stuff like that. We can maybe like do X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
But what is lacking sometimes is purpose friends. Someone that can, push me to go to the next level, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's like someone that can say, dude, man, you're at this level, but I think you can be at the other level. We don't have purpose. What we have, most of I think in our community, I don't know whether you agree with this, but I
I
think
do
most of us
agree.
have comfort friends, not
I
purpose
do.
friends.
I agree with what you say 100%. We have people that make us comfortable, that want to keep us like in our comfort zone. So if we come across a friend, or before even becoming friends with that person, if the person kind of like challenge us, we it changes our whole mindset. Like, oh, this person is too like confrontational. All they care about is just work, and things like that. Whereas, I mean, if you have somebody that is trying to push you to get to the next level, as you said, this is a true friend, because if they are up here, they don't want you down here and you looking up to them. So if you are at the same level, that's a true friend. And even if they are not up there, but if they have this idea and this zeal to to go forward, and then they want to bring you along, but you think like, that's too challenging, then you they need to cut you off, because then you're going to hold them back.
Yeah,
You're
that's
going
a
to hold
great
them back.
point. And that's where to be mentorship go two ways, right?
Yep,
Mentorship is a two-way street to when you look at it, right? Are you seeking it out? Because sometimes, most of the time, right, we outgrow the, we outgrow some people, right?
of course.
And I mean, legit, you mean, is that the person like, God, maybe two of you, not even because of education, two are not on the same wavelength anymore. You're talking one thing, the man talking about different thing, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, right? But we have the tendency in our community, right, to keep those people in our cycle, because you say what, because of habit, out of habit, we want to keep them in our cycle, even though, right, trying to your point, Eda, you're trying to bring them along, say,
Yeah,
hey man, we can go to this level, we can do this together, we can achieve this, or you can even be better than me, right? Is at the end of the day, we're all trying to what, succeed together,
of
right? We
course.
can learn from each other, but you just don't have some friends, as you said, to your point, when you're trying to put you and say, hey, no, 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 I don't want to do that, right? But out of habit, we'll keep them, and so
Yeah,
now folks like that drag us down,
you do. You
you know.
do. So if you have somebody that uh, you're trying to take one foot forward, but then they are standing still, even if that person is like smaller than you, it's just an analogy. If somebody like my size and somebody that is a little smaller, if they are standing still or put a foot back, it's gonna be harder for me to move forward to my destination. So we have these people that they just don't like challenges. They take something that's a challenge to be something that is like how you call it, like a barrier. So if you are running and you see the hurdles, instead of saying, "Oh, that's just a hurdle I can jump over," it, some of them think like, "Oh man, that's like a wall. There's no way that I can go over that thing." But you have to try to strategize and figure out, okay, how can I get over this hurdle that's in front of me? And people always say, if you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. You go with somebody. So, but we have few in our community that are willing to like they're willing, they're available, but to your point, we don't seek out the mentorship. And like what you say, it's a two-way street. If somebody is willing to teach me something, they're not just going to come and teach it to me. I have to go seeking for that information.
Like, I mean, let's let go. And you can ask me the same question here, right? And stuff like that, back and forth. I mean, as we discuss this topic, where we also have to hold each other accountable. Do you currently have a mentor?
No.
No. Okay. Why, why that? Why that? Why that? You know, even
In
at a
my
job, it doesn't have to be also at a job. What a job, because what I'm driving at, right, is like,
right.
when I have a new director, right, my new manager, when she took over, she said, I think you should get a mentor, right? I think you should seek out a mentor, right, within a company, because I just started there about a year plus ago. And so I think you should get a mentor. You know what I mean? I say, okay. But it kind of and then, I mean, the company kind of encourages that though, right? To actually get a mentor, and sometimes I say, oh yeah, it makes sense. Someone that can pick their brain, I
Yeah.
can learn from, I can learn about the company, especially maybe the person has person in leadership, maybe they've been there 20, 25 years, so I can say, man, how did you get to become maybe the CFO or the VP of this or the VP of that, right? And things like that. So that's why I brought that. It don't have to be maybe outside of your job, or even at your job. Do you have a mentor?
Yeah, so the company before this one that I'm at now,
Hmm.
it was something that they also encourage and preach. So
Hmm.
when you start there first, it's almost like a buddy system, but it's somebody who's been there for a really long time, who is almost like a SME of certain departments,
Yeah,
where you say, okay, well, this person is like, they don't say like mentor, it's like a associate friend type of
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
where they make them available to you. You call this person if any information you want, if it's about the your role, if it's about any role, about the company, about history, about anything, you can call this person. But where am I right now? We don't have that. They do sometimes tell you like, okay, well, you can reach out to certain people and you can ask them questions and things, but they don't say, okay, well, these are mentors for different departments and different roles and things like that.
and the thing, right? Even like, and sometimes we take it like maybe we get want to get at a job, but how like as we said, having the conversation, right? I think sometimes we even like to expand your network, something like the things I'm passionate about. There's some
Right.
now we have the podcast, right? Someone who's maybe been podcasting for a long, right? I think maybe somebody someone that could seek out, right? To say,
Mhm.
hey man, like hey, man, you've been in the business for a long time, right? What can I mean, what are some of the germs that you can, you know what I mean? Drop for me, right? So even outside of our job, right? Things that we are passionate about, I think we should expand our network and have mentorship for those things. But we don't do that. But me, I can tell you, folks on the other side of the calculation, they do. These folks go to network conferences,
Mhm.
right? They go to. It might sometimes somebody might be thousands of that. You wonder, okay, why you pay all that money to go there? Sometimes it's not like it's when you go there, the connection you make at these events, man, it be so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, so we just hired a new associate, and he's remote right now in another state.
Mm-hmm,
But it's something during his onboarding when I have my one-on-one with him.
hmm
That's like something like that. He said where he's been in this industry for so long, but he was saying, "Oh, this person is my mentor. This person is my mentor." Like he doesn't have just one person when it comes
hmm
to, because we deal with compliance. So when it
Yeah,
comes to different parts of the whole compliance line, it goes to somebody who is like an expert. If it's
yeah,
European regulations, if it's Latin America, if it's
yeah,
Asia, if it's this,
yeah,
there are people that he's networked with over the years, and he's like, yeah, I go to this person and I trust the information that they're going to give me. So if there's something that I'm little iffy about, I go to this person and I get clarity from there. So to your point is good, and it's not only at your place of work and things like that, but even just in the community, like we were saying about having an immigrant community that is well educated. We have these people within our networks, but we are not aware of them because we are not seeking out that information. We're not, it's like what Ms. B and other people always say on here. The resources are available, but I don't know if it's just laziness or something, but we don't want to go seeking for that information.
yeah. And that's why we are here, right here at the Inner Cycle Park. Yeah, that's why we bring this conversation. Like tonight, we are what folks. We are discussing the power of your cycle. Who you have around you matters. As you can see tonight, like even the mayor race in New York. Zara Mandani came here at the age of 8. How is like he's running to become mayor of the largest city, as big as his area, right? Largest city in the country. You know what I mean? For someone looking at his background, look at who he is. I think man, his connection and the people he surrounded himself with, I think his cycle kind of will help him today, right, to get the way he is, even Barack Obama and stuff like that. So we are discussing the power of your cycle. Who you have around you matters. You can contribute to the conversation by putting a comment in the chat or calling with number 952-594-5154. But yeah, the other thing too about this whole like, cycle thing, I think the reason, especially in our immigrant community, is like the people you talk about. Right? As I said, there are a lot of, even we have discussed this on the platform many times. You have so many immigrants, especially African immigrants, that are so educated, that are doing so much good in this country. But these people, like most of them, so now when you come on there and say, "Oh, like this, I don't want to come to the community. I don't want to come in the community because there's so much negative energy." I said, "But Will, if you stay in the background, right? What good are you doing? Not only is like what if you say something is so negative, how can you change it? How can you contribute to it? Because if you say, what, the community is because there's so many educated people, they could pass those knowledge. The
Mhm.
other thing too, you have our kids graduating from high school here. Some of them don't even know what they want to go to. doing college, right? Because they don't know who looks like them. There's if someone want to go do financial management, they don't know there's anyone who looks at them that that have a financial that is doing that line of work, or want to become a medical doctor or engineer, right, or something, or want to go establish your business. They don't have anyone they can reference. We normally don't have those reference points in our community because there's no one like because they exist, but they are all in the background. They don't want to come to the community to help.
Yeah. So for those people, like you said, a lot of them are they just they are almost like removed from the community. They don't want to be part of it because, yes, based on history, they're like, oh, okay, the negativity within the immigrant community and so forth. But to your point, if I'm looking at something and I want it to change, but I just sit and look at it like, okay, change. I like pray or like our word for the 2025. I hope it changes. I hope I hope this will change. But we have to get involved. And even if somebody does not come seeking out information, we should know within ourselves that we have a lot to give. And to whom much is given, much is expected. So if you
Mhm.
are up there, whether it's in business, in academia, in anything, you have that responsibility, even though people are not coming flooding at your door. You still have to at least make yourself known so that people can say, oh, okay, well, tell people, okay, I'm available. This is how you can reach me, and this is what I have to give for whoever wants to give. And to your point, our kids that are graduating, a lot of them, if it's not sports, athletics, it's like they have no reference point. They have nothing to do when they go to college. So because for the immigrant community, it's always doctor or engineer. So besides those two, they're like, oh, you mean I can be a business owner? I can like go into finance, into accounting, into IT and things like that. But they don't have people that look like them. Like I said, if it's not basketball or football, which I'm not saying those are bad, but what will you do after those things are over?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And one of the thing where we actually, I'm a strong believer, I'm a firm believer, right? Like, one of the things I'm so excited about the podcast, the platform that we have there, the Cycle podcast and things like that, because like, see, I always a bit frustrated, but most of us, especially the African immigrant population, is like, we are here, we are living our lives here and stuff like that. But all we want to do focus back home, right? The man kind of get education, do everything. The next thing you want to run back home. And you say, but man, it's like we live here, some of us came here very young, but our focus and our mindset is all in a different environment. The environment that if you look at it, if we are really realistic with ourselves, it's so removed from us. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. It's not really contributing to our life, and we are not really contributing much down there. Yeah, we have family and friends there. Maybe sometimes you might send them remittance, but we're not really doing that. This is where our lives are being impacted the most, right? But we are sometimes so removed from it, right? We are not really engaged, you know, to do the things that we should be doing here. Like as you said, to your point, like these kids, they're graduating, yeah, they want to go into sports, but they see maybe they want to become the next Kobe Bryant, may so rest in peace, or the next, Jordan, or the next Iverson, or whatever, or the next Patrick Mahomes, and things like that, right? That's all they want to do. There's no reference point because, like I said, there are a lot of educated people in our community. There are a lot of successful people in our community, but these people are not coming back to give back. And to me, is like because that's where the power of your cycle starts from, right? You don't have someone don't have to come and seek you out. Sometimes you have to because even some of the corporate jobs you are working on, this company you are working for, they have programs that here like volunteer PTO, go back to your community and help,
Mhm.
you know, or like they have matching programs. If you go volunteer for a non-profit, or you say, hey, you know what, you can get XYZ to a non-profit in your community and we can match a certain amount. All of these things, right? All of these things, we are not really taking advantage of them, and that's so sad.
Yeah, so even companies here, they have taken their individual model and they to lack of a better word, amplified it because
Hmm.
see companies they will have like job fairs, they will have
Yeah.
these things, and like you said, a few weeks back, my department we went to a charity, feed my starving children.
Yeah.
We took the whole afternoon off. We went there for a couple of hours to pack some meals, and I mean, the company sponsored something like that. So if you have a company that wants to that is willing to put himself out there, like, okay, well, this is who we are. Well, we want the best talents. We want people to come and work for us. Now, individuals can take that same model and say, okay, well, this is who I am. This is what I've accomplished or what I've done. And when you put it in that way, it's not like you're trying to boast or try to be like, oh yeah, I'm this or that. No, you're just trying to make yourself available to people. Like, okay, I can. I don't know it all, but what I do know, I can share it with people. And if one or two person benefits from it, then for the better.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And then one thing too that I'm very excited about this topic to know the power of your cycle, who you have around you matters, right? I think about depending on your cycle, it kind of demands growth, right? It's like, growth, and growth comes to what? Growth demands as well, right? Discomfort. Because
Mhm.
if you have people in your cycle who just flattering you, oh man, Peterson, Peterson is so smart, Peterson is so good, what I mean, stuff like that. But they are not making you uncomfortable, right? And there's not that discomfort waiting to criticize you because one of the things in our community, we don't take criticism lightly.
Mhm.
Anytime someone criticizes you or criticizes you, say, damn, that person doesn't like me. We don't
Yep,
really look at it and say, well,
I'm
okay,
your enemy.
yeah, or he doesn't like me, it doesn't like me. And so that we have the tendency to kick such people out of our cycle completely.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not saying every criticism is good, right? But certain criticism, especially constructive criticism, it is something that we have to be mindful that we have to actually listen to because the
right.
person that is operating that criticism actually means well for you.
Yep.
If you really, really take the time, right? I mean, to listen. But most of the time, we don't do it. And man, growth demands discomfort. I mean, no matter what, right? If you just have people in your cycle just flattering you all day, not challenging you to go to that level to grow, at the end of the day, you're never going to grow.
Yeah. This is the reason why a lot of companies they have like this evaluation period, which we are kind of approaching. You froze. Is it me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
frozen a little bit. Yeah, so this is why we're approaching like the end of the year, and they will have this evaluation where
Mm-hmm.
just okay, throughout this year, this is what uh, you did good, and this is why you need you have opportunities to improve, and they put it that way to your point to make it constructive, like constructive criticism. You don't just tell somebody like, "Oh yeah, everything is a mess. Everything is a mess." No, they do it in such a way so that you can be like, it can get you thinking to say, "Oh, okay, well, I do need to improve in this area or that area." But like you just said, within the immigrant community, especially, I don't know about every immigrant community, but those of Liberian background, if somebody gives you criticism, we just we black out the constructive part of it and just take the the critical part in. That's the part we absorb and say, oh yeah, this person doesn't like me, and now they become your enemy. Whether it's something that is supposed to change your mindset so that you can improve, we don't take it as constructive criticism. We take it as somebody being negative. They're just talking down on me and saying negative things.
How do you think we can change such a mindset though, right? Where in like because I think that's some of the things that hinder our growth. It actually do it actually hinders our growth, right? And that's why even sometimes in all fairness to those that are staying in the background, sometimes, right? I think that's some of the thing because when a person come and give you X, Y, and Z criticism, right? Some of it, I'm not saying you should take every criticism in account, but the constructive ones, is like we take it so out of line and so, oh, either the person doesn't like me, the person hate me, or because he feels it better than me. And so sometimes those that are not these people that are so educated, that are so successful, those are some of the reasons they don't even want to come to the community because maybe when they can't offer something good, right? We look at it and say, nah, that person doesn't like us. That person. How can we change such your mindset in the country where we are? To me, is very, very important because in order for us to have your cycle, if your cycle is just flattering you, to me, it's a cycle that's not that you won't really achieve your potential. So how can we change your mindset?
Yes, so I think we have to take it one step at a time. If somebody, like all the great people in this country that have achieved so much, it didn't just come like overnight. The success didn't just like they didn't just wake up and they were successful. I'm not talking about like lottery winners or winning the lottery. Even those who win the lottery, they still have to go through something to win that lottery. You have to step out and go and play for the lottery to win. But we have to take criticism in such a way that okay, this is not like my character. They are not trying to insult me. So in order to change our mindset, we have to take things. If somebody gives you a criticism, you have to go back and think over it. Like, oh, okay, well, how can I improve this part? Because if you like all the politicians, most of them in this country, their first time running, they didn't just like, oh, okay, this person had a landslide win. No, they they win, they failed, then they went back to the drawing board. Like, okay, well, what can I do next time? What can I change? What can I do better to improve myself so that I can be able to succeed at the next opportunity? So we always have to take criticism as something that is going to impact us for the positive future. It's not like I said, they're not. It's not for your character or your emotions or just taking it in because uh, we take everything so personal. If somebody tells me something, even at work, if it's a constructive criticism, I'm gonna come home like, oh man, I really suck. I mean, so we have to always think about it in the positive way.
Yeah, I think like it's having an open mind, right? Always
Yep.
have an open mind, be open minded, and sometimes, you have to say, you know what, number one, especially if you want to grow, right? As I said, it's very, very discomfortable sometimes. If you want to grow, criticism come with the territory. I mean, the thing you mentioned earlier is that to whom much is given, much is expected. And it also comes with wow, you become, what I mean, you become more scrutinized, right? There's more eyeballs on you, right? It's like it comes with that territory. The other thing too that I think we African immigrants we don't appreciate much. And one thing one thing I appreciate this country is like failure is not they don't look at it as a they look at it as a learning experience.
Hmm.
If an American man fail, look at it, you know what, he wipe his butt and get it and say, you know what, I can do it. They can fall down five times, they may get a five times. For us, as soon we fall down once, we don't want to venture around that again, right? Or maybe somebody criticizes us once, we feel that it rubs us the wrong way. The next minute, we're going to cut them off. Failure here is celebrated. And I think that's one of the lessons we should learn from this, right? If you want to, if the power of your cycle and, and people around you, that matters that can help you to grow, you have to accept constructive criticism. When you feel and somebody telling you, man, the way you did that thing, it wasn't right, you know what? Wipe your butt, get up, and see how best you can do it better. But the one thing that we take failure as a death sentence sometimes, most of us, especially in our Liberian community, right? Say, man, by the time we fail, say, damn, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. That's not my luck, and we don't even try again. We don't even try.
Yeah, that is a great, great point because this is one place when you think of failures. Like I read something earlier when I saw this topic. I'm like, when we talk about your cycle and people who have like inventors, for example.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
earlier I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, Thomas Edison. People always talking about, yeah, he made so many attempts at different inventions and things like that before he succeeded. So when they asked him, like, how many times? Some people say like 10,000 times he attempt to like fix one thing, to invent one thing, and he didn't consider those as failures. He said, "Okay, I found 10,000 ways to make
Make
to
the
make
light
something."
bulb.
To
Yeah.
make it, to make the light bulb, or 9,000 ways to make the battery, and things like that. So this is a country where failures, it's not like they're applauded, but if you fail at something, they're not, it's not like the end all, like, oh, how some of us from the immigrant background, if we fail at something, if you attempting a business venture and you fail, you fall flat on your face and you don't ever want to get up again because you're like, oh, this is like, it's too hard, it's too this, nobody likes me. And then that's when we played like this game, like, oh, there's too many hurdles, too many red flags, too many this, too many that. But whereas they have people who came before us that feel way more than you are feeling, and they were still able to succeed. Why? Because they persevered. But we don't have that perseverance spirit in other areas. We do. We are a very resilient group of people, but at the same time, when it comes to like going forward, we like to be stagnant. We just like to be comfortable. It's like you're saying, growth comes with being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
If you put a seed in the ground, in order for that seed to grow and become a flower or a plant, it will have to like break open. It's not going to
Mhm.
just stay that little seed and then it grows out of it. So there's always discomfort.
I mean, and the other point you brought right about the federal piece, right? Like, I mean, it's like you wonder in this country. So why do they have bankruptcy laws? Why is there like, well, it's chapter 11, president bankruptcy, company can file bankruptcy, so now they come back, the company
Mhm.
even become better, they restructure, they become better and things like that, right? Someone can go through bankruptcy, right, get rid of their debt and come back and become better. I mean, our current president have been through, I mean, processes like that, right? It's like you wonder, okay, but why do they have even bankruptcy? It mean, things are so terrible, I can file bankruptcy and start over again, right? Does that mean it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world for you. It's just telling you know what, there's second chance.
Yeah.
There's second chance where you
Yeah.
actually have second chance in life. If you just give up at that moment and say, no, I'm not going to try it again. I'm not going to ever do it again and stuff like that, it's like you give up. But the thing we have with the whole power cycle, where like there are reference point. There's so many reference point in this country. I mean, even business leader, Bill Gates will tell you, I mean, the list Jobs will tell you, he failed.
Mhm.
They all went through those failures, but because they have reference points, right, that they could say, you know what, I mean, there are people in my cycle that have tried it that fail. I think, you know what I mean, and stuff. And today, I mean, look at where they are because of those reference points. They don't give up. But most of the time, we don't even have that in our community, bro.
Yeah, we don't have that in our community. We do have people who would be considered like the role models, the reference points. But like you said earlier, those people that stay in the bag, or once they make it or they succeed, they're like, okay, I don't want to be associated with like my community. I don't want to be part of this community. And now it's like, okay, I'm rolling with the big leagues. So uh, you're coming, or don't come to my door and things like that. But we always have to be willing to give back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, it's been I mean, this segment is very, very good, right? Folks, tonight we are discussing the power of your cycle. Who you have around you matters. A cycle matters. Number one, first of all, a full cycle to me, a full cycle, if someone is ahead of you, don't be jealous of them, right? Consider that person, don't be in competition with them. Consider that person your mentor. Someone you're on the same wavelength, you're at the same level. Person's your teammate. You're encouraging one another to see, how you can move forward, right? Someone that you are above, try to pay it forward, how best you can mentor them. Those are things to me, right? So important that we should recognize these things, right? Because like to me, that's what a full value cycle is, right? It's like if someone ahead of you, I don't think you should say, oh yeah, that person acting so big and bad, that person doesn't want well, you consider them a mentor. How can you pick their brain? Hey man, how did you get here, right? And people that look like us, we need to start leveraging those things. Because look, I can tell you, man, that's what the Caucasian does so well. they meant when they know someone like when they know someone's a CFO or CEO, the person brain they want to pick because that's what they want to get.
Yep.
That's what they want to get. They don't be in competition with that person.
No.
I mean, the person is already the person have already made it. He's like you be in competition with them, you're wasting your time, right? So there's
Yep.
no need to do that, And then when you're someone that's in level, right? You guys should be the again. There shouldn't be that competition, right? Peterson and I have this. Maybe we have master degree, we have we have the same education, working the same job. We are teammates. How can we collaborate? How can we support one another? You know, and then we find ourselves in position where we have above people. We should what? Consider paying it forward.
Yep.
The person want to pick my brain. We should what? Be able to provide those services to them. Right now, not consider them. Oh no, no, no. You are beneath. You are below me. You are beneath me.
Yeah. So within the just society at large, not only in
Mm-hmm.
the immigrant community, there are well, it's mostly in the immigrant community, but people who I consider mentors to your point, instead of like paying it forward, they hold tight to this information or whatever process got them to where they are. They like to hold like on to this info, even if somebody comes searching or trying to pick their brain, they would just like the tip of the iceberg type of thing. They would just like, give you like the basic, and sometimes it leaves people like even more confused. Like, wait,
Mm-hmm.
what, like, why don't you just tell me what you're doing or what you did? I mean, like people always say, just because I'm giving you the information or giving you the steps that I took, you can take the same steps walking my shoes, but you're not going to end to the same place and it's not going to
No.
take you the same. But now it's off me. Once I give you that information, it's up to you what you do with it. But it's my place to at least impart that knowledge to others so that I hope and pray that some of them will be able to be successful using that same system. And we don't have systems in place. This is one of the things because if it comes to business, if we have a business model, so okay, if we started a business in whatever industry, and this is what he did, and then you go to this networking event and you lay out the steps, and then somebody else who is at your level come and say, oh yeah, it was similar steps, even though it's a different industry, then we think like, oh, okay, well, if I take these steps I may be able to be successful. It's not guaranteed
Yeah.
because what worked for 80 is not going to be the same thing 100% that works for me. So
Mhm.
you can kind of cater it to your own liking, but we're not willing to give out these valuable information to people. We're not paying it forward.
Not at all, man. It's like impeding. I mean, like you just raised a great point. You just drop a great gem there, right? We hold things to our chest so bad, right? Because we feel that, oh God, by the time the man take the information, he's going to do. It's like
It's going to
we,
go way higher
yeah,
than me.
he's
That's a
going to be
fear.
better than me. It's like, look, everybody have their calling. I always tell people, everybody is like, we're all not going to end up at the same place.
No.
I mean, look at all of these tech guys, all of these. I mean, billionaires now. I mean, Mark
Mhm.
Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, they are so different,
Yep.
right? Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, even though they were competing in the same environment, they're so
That's
different and
so
they took a
different. Yep.
different path,
Yep.
right? It's like, but we don't share it. We hold information so tight. Man, Peter in that stuff is holding us so even in our own
People back.
cycle.
Yes, it's
Yeah, our
holding
own
people back.
cycle. We don't. It's like I know something instead of me saying, "Man, maybe that let me bring it into Peterson to maybe that to see how we can bring ideas together, how we can collaborate, and maybe
Mhm.
that he and I can put resources together." A good thing that we have said it on the business segment so much, right? Everybody want to do things solo,
Yep.
especially in our community. I get this business idea, I just want to take it and run with it. If we can just combine our resources, Peterson, you know how far we'll go, bro.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Especially our cycles, we just combine our resources.
Mhm.
You know, that's what these people do. Look, all of these, like the tech companies be hearing about, like the Microsoft. Bill Gates did not establish Microsoft by himself.
No,
No, okay. It
he
was a
did.
group of guys. He was the head. It was a group of guys that got together. Apple was not Steve Jobs alone.
Yep.
Okay.
Google, even Google.
Yeah, Google. It's not Larry Page alone.
Yeah,
You
starting
know, group of guys, and today look where they are. Look where they are. These are trillion-dollar companies. But man, we don't do that. We all want to do things solo. Even when we are in these cycles, right? Yeah, sometimes like we don't want, and that's what I mean, right? When we are in this kind of a cycle, we are holding information to our chest. I think to me that's where like we have to get out of because it become comfort zones to me.
hmm
We have to get out of comfort zone and say, hey, how can I explore, right? It's like maybe they seek ideas different place because man, it is holding us back so much. We all just want to do something solo, all want to do something by ourselves. We don't want to share ideas. We don't want to collaborate. We don't want to put resources together.
Yeah, that's the word right there. Collaboration. We need to learn to network and connect. So if I find out something that is going to be beneficial to my family, is going to move us forward. Now, if we're not saying like, oh, right when an idea pop into your head, go and share it with people. No, if it's something that is proven to say, okay, well, this if you take these steps or if you follow this plan, is guaranteeing success. Now, the level of your success is going to be different, but this is going to guarantee success. Now, I can bring that to the table. Like, hey, have you heard about this? Have you seen anything about this? Then it's going to have people starting to think like, oh, okay, no, what is that? And that's how you network, you build these relationships, and you create like basically lifetime friendships. And it's people of who are like-minded, and they are willing to move forward in the same direction together. Now, okay, I'll take 3 steps, and then I'm going to look back. If you're still standing there, okay, well, woe unto you. I'm going forward. So we need to learn to collaborate and network with people, because we have this mindset of, oh, somebody is envious of me, or they are jealous of me, so they are always competing with me, so I can't give them this information, and I can tell them how to succeed. I'm going to try it on my own, and then if I make it, then I'm set. I'm not going to tell nobody. And I mean, where is that information going to take you, or what are you going to do with that at the end of the day? Is like, it's going to go with you.
Yeah, man. Folks, to know we have been discussing the power of the cycle. Who you have around you matters. It's been a great topic, man. Peter and I have been having fun with this, dropping some great gems here. It's a 1 hour show, so we can't be dragging it for so long, man. But Peterson, though, man, is like I said, the reason why I love the topic so much, and like especially in our various communities, in our immigrant communities, right? We have all of we have these great cycles, where we have these great, we have our friends and stuff like that. But year over year, we are not growing. Year over year, we are now growing because the stuff you brought about sharing information, collaborating, helping one another, seeing how basic. Sometimes, like you be friends. I mean, you and your homeboy. I mean, you'll be friends for so long, right? You're just stuck to the same place. You'll be like, "Do yeah, bro." It's like, year over year, you're to the same place. Then, but what's good? What are we doing wrong? It'll be like we are not even leveraging our cycle, right? Because some of our cycles, so now there's great potential in there, man. You have someone who's you have some of our cycle, you have some driven folks there, right? They are doing X, Y, and Z. But we don't even pick their brain. You see that man, oh, that man that doing his thing, also, I ain't even gonna battle him, right? Or hey, that dude, I'm not going to share any information with him. We are not even leveraging our cycles, man. And some of us have great cycle, but year after year, we're stuck to the same place because we are not sharing information. We are not trying to help one another to go to that next level. So we are that same. You can see people here sometimes in a year, in a country 20 years, bro, at the same level. You wonder, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sad state if you have friends or associates or people that are around you, and you guys are just at the same level, no progress or anything like that. Because now it becomes, like we said, a mindset. Because if I'm with a group of friends or colleagues, and we've been knowing each other, hanging out, whether we met at work or in the community, but we've been hanging out. But nobody in the past 5 years have said, "Oh, I got a promotion to like the next level." It doesn't matter what that level is, but we all just stuck to the same place. Whenever we gather, it's about the next thing, about whatever trending topics and things like that. We're not trying to strategize and say, "Oh, okay, well, uh, there's a guy or a girl that we both started at the company, or I started before them and they just got a promotion. Now, why don't you ask that person like what are they doing? What are
Yeah.
they doing right? But most times we want to like blame the system. Sometimes we say, "Oh, yeah, it's the system. It's stacked against us. It's stacked against me. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. I'm the victim." But many times these things is just because we are not willing to leave and get out of our comfort zone to say, "Okay, well, these friends or these people are holding me back," and we didn't talk much about like the negative having that negative cycle, because we
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
yes, it can hold you back, but many times it can get you in trouble,
Yeah.
because people always say birds of the same feather flock together, or show me your friends, I'll show you who you are. If
Yeah.
even if you are somebody like an outstanding citizen, you're great, you are great at your work and things like that, but the people you hang around, if for example all they talk about is the next girl, or which
Mhm.
party they were at yesterday, and which party they're going to tomorrow and things like that. If your job gets to find out, they'll be like, "Yeah, this guy is not really serious because of the people he hangs out with." Even though they don't know like your cycle like that, but once they get to know the type of people that you hang around, it's gonna rub off on people. And sometimes the perception is real, even if that's just perception.
I mean, yeah, you brought up a great point, right? And that's what is this phrase comes to mind, right? Where in like elevation requires elimination, right? And elimination and elevation, right, requires separation,
Yep.
right? Now, certain cycle, if you're in a negative cycle, you have to have that courage to leave,
Yep.
right? If you're in a negative cycle, you have to have that courage to leave. Other than that, you will fall in trouble. You will make the wrong mistake. And in all fairness, where sometimes like like some of us that immigrated from from Africa, coming out immigrants, sometimes we fall in the wrong cycle. And believe me and you, where some people never got the opportunity or courage, not the opportunity, they had the opportunity to leave, but the courage, they never got the courage to leave. And today they are just stuck. Some of them fell in trouble. Some of them like it's like, look, every immigrant kind in this country over drive, over vision, over dream. But sometimes when we find ourselves in those wrong cycles, man, it just they're not like you come, the man, is it my man? We're just doing the poo cleaning job or nothing here, or yeah, dude, that's like, and you stuck there. Once you want to take different part of business, okay, I don't want that. He just,
Yeah.
he actually, but what he also was there, man. You have to, eliminate certain cycles.
Yeah. You
I mean,
just
if you want to elevate it, right, and you also have to separate yourself from certain cycles if you want to go to that next level. But
yeah.
in all fairness, too, right, some of us are in good cycles, but we are not pushing one another. And even in cycles like that, too, you have to leave. You have to say, "Gosh, year over year, we're not really achieving anything. We're not really getting to where we need to get." Right? It's like we all need to start looking ourselves in the mirror now and say, "What can we do better? Right? How can we change
Yeah.
this? Right? Because we cannot be at the same level. If we want to grow generational wealth, if we want to be, do good things, if we want to have impact, we cannot always be doing the same thing over and over and not getting any result."
Yeah, and like you said rightly, not every cycle is like either bad, uh, some bad influences and some good. Sometimes you are in a great cycle, but and everybody's on like the same level, and some people have that drive, but everybody's competing. So it's almost like a cycle, but
Yeah.
it's more like a pancake, because everybody's facing out in their own direction. They're trying to do their own things. We're not trying to network and come together and like try to collaborate. Like we've been saying all night.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely, definitely. Man, this has been a great show. Peterson, man, always I enjoy when we bring these topics here, man. I enjoy your take on it. You drop some great gems and things like that. Or maybe saying, yeah, right, that's the mindset of African. They can release information to help their brother or sister succeed, even though they know what you're asking them for help to achieve. They might use you and definitely, that's it.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, we have that a lot, and that's why we brought this topic. That's why we bring great topics. We have to change our mindset,
Yeah.
especially right. We are in a great country. We need to change our mindset because here at Inner Cycle Podcast, our passion is to grow generational wealth and to succeed together to share information. As you mentioned earlier, Peterson, man, there are resources out there, right? Miss Beaton have been saying it, but when those even in our community that want to go get the resources or to get the information for the resources, they sit on it. They sit on it. They better want to bring it back to the community. They sit on it.
Yep.
Which is so sad. We are so sad, man. But anyway, as we wrap this segment up, man, what is your party message tonight, man? It's been a great show for you. I
Yeah,
think.
it's been a great show. The hour went by so fast, but yeah, it's always great to have these conversations with you. But I mean, as we're saying, your cycle matters. Who you surround yourself with matters, and we're not saying that um, you should go seeking out people that look like you or sound like you and think like you, because everybody have their own mind and we all think different. But we need to get out of this mindset of oh, being comfortable if you are in a cycle and people are not challenging you, or like if you said earlier, all they do is just like flatter you. Oh man, you're so great. You are the smartest person that I know, and things like that. Those type of compliments and things, it gets us big head like, oh, okay, now I've reached, I've made it, and you are nowhere. So it's going to keep you from trying to improve and seek more progress. And we need to go out and find people that can mentor us. And like we say, it doesn't matter if it's at your job, if it's in community, if it's in church. And mentorship, it shouldn't come with like how people do it nowadays. Oh, you pay me something, then I give you a little bit of information. You pay me, then I give you a little bit of information. It shouldn't be done that way. It should be a genuine like mentorship where somebody is willing to teach you and hold your hands, and you'll be willing to learn as well. And it's not everything that somebody teaches you you're going to succeed at. If success was what people were measuring, a lot of the things that we have now available to us would not be available, because these people, they fail so many times, but as I said earlier, they found those failures as opportunities to improve. And as for the immigrant community, we should learn to take constructive criticism and try to improve on things that people give us. Just as your supervisor at work, sometimes they will doing your yearly review, they're gonna tell you like, hey, you did good. They usually start out that way. They'll tell you, yeah, you did good, you had a good year, this is what you did so well. And then they go into what these are areas that you need improvement. And
Mhm.
if somebody gives you a constructive criticism, it's not like insult on your character, or they're not trying to insult your intelligence. This is just an opportunity from what they see or observe, so that you can be able to improve and better yourself. And if we have some information that is going to be beneficial to other people, let's time hold on to that information and just keep it to ourselves. Let's learn to share and collaborate. Thank you.
Yeah, folks, definitely, yeah, folks. Oh, that's a good one right there. That's a good pattern message. And folks, man, the power of your cycle matters. Who you have around you matters. Let us value our cycle. Let us take advantage of our cycle, right? If your cycle is not adding value to you, I would say, hey, man, maybe it's time to evaluate your your cycle and say, hey, what's going on? And I will leave you guys with this, right? Your destiny is attached to your why, to your discipline and your cycle, right? You rise with the right trap Honestly, bro, you rise with the right travel, you rise with the right people, and you guys got to push yourself. It can't just be you go have beer with your boys and that's it, or every weekend you'll meet, your party, your drink, and that's it. No, you have to push yourself. You have to share ideas and stuff like that. So you rise with the right trap and you fall with the wrong trap. As Peterson said, right? You in in the wrong cycle, they're gonna get you in the wrong environment or do the wrong thing. So man, it's been a great topic, and that's why we bring this here every week, every Tuesday, and Peterson and I bring these great topics, man. So for us, we are passionate about bringing resources back to our community, bringing some
Yeah.
good information back and share with you, right? We hope that you learn something from here tonight. Value your cycle, evaluate your cycle, right? Check it out. If you're in a wrong cycle that's not adding value to you, because life is about growth, Peterson. To me, it's
Yep.
about growth. I value growth. Year over year, if I see myself in the same place, I become frustrated for some reason. I said,
Of
but what
course.
am I doing wrong? Right?
And
It's
that
like,
is
yeah,
just right.
if my bank account negative every time and all this, I said, nah, man. So there's no, I become frustrated, Peterson. You know what I mean? Or maybe something if I'm not growing, I'm not getting a certain level, I become frustrated. And I think everybody should have that kind of a same mindset. It's like evaluate yourself. See what are you doing wrong? Maybe like if you have some ideas, you and your friends bounce it off each other, establish a new business, establish a new partnership. Do not be afraid to do that, folks.
Yep.
We shouldn't be afraid to do this thing. Life is risk, and
Yep.
for us, to your point, Elder Peterson, we are so resilient. We are taking so many risks. Sometimes some of the risks that come across, we don't even ask for it. But
Nope.
as black people, these things come across us, right? So it is important that we actually, leverage our cycle. And so tonight, man, folks, it's been a good conversation. Miss B and I will be back here tomorrow with the business of another good business segment. And my man Peterson, man, from the windy city of Chicago. The man said he's not from Chicago, from the suburb of Chicago now because as is really, as is really Chicago, like,
Yeah.
like so, folks. So anyway, good night, man. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. You all have a good night. Thank you for
Good
joining.
night.